Hey everybody, and welcome back to Video Game Esoterica. Before we get into Progear, if you could do me a huge favor, just go down below and hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps us out. We appreciate all your support. So Progear was released in 2001 by Cave, and that makes it one of the latest releases on the CPS2 platform. Considering the CPS2 was first introduced to arcades in 1993 for Street Fighter, that gives you 9 years of solid support for this platform, making it one of the longest running platforms in arcades outside the Neo Geo AES. Interestingly enough, it is Cave's first horizontal shooting game. The second one is going to be Death Smiles, which we've covered on this channel in a previous episode, but this is one of Cave's most well-known horizontal shooters. I would say that it's probably better than Death Smiles. I like the 2D art style and just the overall gameplay and theme of the game. A little bit of backstory on the game itself, what story you do get in arcade games. There are 5 different kind of regal dukes or other aristocracy in the game, and they've been able to make themselves immortal. They're the only immortal beings, and after they become immortal, they decide that they want to take over the land in which the game exists in. 5 children from 5 different villages come to fight them after they find the technology for Progear, which is basically just a propeller plane. It's kind of funny that that's new technology they find, considering you see a lot of other mechanical tanks, planes, and otherwise in the game. But it's an arcade game. Thinking about the story is probably completely pointless. What I really love about Cave games and CPS2 games in general is just the lush animations you get. You see those windmills in the background, and the frames of animation on them, there's a ton of them. It's not 6 to 8 frames of animation for that pinwheel to spin, it's probably 30, 40 frames. You do get a little bit of slowdown in the bullet patterns, but that's sometimes intentional. That way you can wade your way through them, and Cave games are known for having slowdown all over the place, especially when those bullet patterns get pretty intense. So that's really not too much of a surprise. But as far as the settings are concerned, it kind of reminds me weirdly of Sound of Music. You get that kind of Austrian mountain vibe to it. You get these lush trees, you get those mountains, and now we have our first boss character coming up. I'll let you watch it, and we'll come back and talk about a little bit more Progear, but I want you guys to enjoy the bosses, so I'll be back in just a second. So there you go, that's the stage 1 boss right there, and we were able to accomplish that stage without getting hit once, so as far as stage 1 is concerned, that's a 1cc. And you will see in the ratings here, the gunner is marked as safe and lovely. Depending on how much you utilize that gunner and how protected you keep them, you're going to get a different ranking at the end of each stage. But now we're getting right into stage 2. Goes a little bit more from that mountainous area to more of an industrial base-like setting. Some of the graphical style reminds me a lot of the Metal Slug series, just kind of those funny animated mechanical ships, tanks, or otherwise that you're going to see. Obviously this being a shooter, it's a completely different gameplay style. I did take my first hit right there. I had taken a few more before you had seen that because we were at the continue stage. But the game is relatively fair. I would say that it presents a really good challenge. Like most Cave games, not only is the challenge to avoid the bullets very large, but the scoring is one of the biggest components of the game, how you get that multiplier going. Now we're taking a look at the second stage here, and we have this Aquatic Ship coming up. Reminds me of the Darius series a lot as well. You get those aquatic sort of animal mechs coming into the situation. And I do really like the bullet patterns here. They're both wild, where things just seem to go in any direction that they possibly could, and then you get those more pattern-based bullets coming at you, where it's really easy to see how to navigate through them, but you do have to have some pretty precision stick control to be able to avoid everything that's coming towards you. I would say Cave does a very good job at translating their style to the horizontal shooter format. Obviously, other than this and Death Smiles, all their other games are going to be vertical shooters, but their pattern placement and overall gameplay definitely translates really well to the horizontal format, and I do wish, somewhere in the future, Cave will release another horizontal shooter for us. The dream would be a Progear 2, because this game is so beloved, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, unfortunately. The nice part about Progear and a lot of Cave games is the bosses feel like really hard battles. They go on for a minute or two sometimes. Some shooters, the boss is like 30-40 seconds, and before you even kind of get to enjoy the situation, that level is over once you've beaten the boss. But in Progear, you definitely get a really prolonged battle sequence. now that you see that we've destroyed the body of that ship, this kind of Nessie Loch Ness monster head comes out, and you have a second stage of the battle with completely different bullet patterns. And I really do like that you get multiple phases of each boss. It just adds a little bit more to the challenge, more to the replayability. And if you do purchase this game, it is quite expensive. You're talking like $500 to $750 for an original CPS2 board. So you definitely want both challenge and replayability in a game when you're spending that much money, and Progear is going to give you both of those. And now right here, what you're going to see is that classic cave bullet hell coming right towards you. The slowdown is immense, but it does allow you to get through all those bullets. You're able to navigate easily. You can blow a bomb off if you get a little stuck like I did there, but now you get a large amount of challenge trying to navigate through each individual bullet. They move slow enough and your hitbox is small enough so that it's absolutely doable, and it is a great accomplishment and feeling when you are able to get through all those bullets. So there you go, we've beaten the second stage boss. What I'm going to do is let you guys watch stage 3 without any commentary, then I'll come back and kind of close out Progear and talk about where we're going to be going in Season 5. So this is a stage where you get a lot of varied gameplay. You have the screen moving vertically when the gameplay is occurring on that horizontal axis, so you have to navigate both the horizontal and the vertical planes to be able to successfully play the game and avoid those bullets. As far as playing this at home, if you don't have CPS2 hardware, the original board, this does emulate very well on MAME. There is apparently a cell phone release in Japan only in 2008. I could not find any footage of it, I couldn't find any screenshots of it, but it does exist. Obviously that's not going to be something that you're going to really have access to, so unless you are an arcade collector, I definitely recommend you just emulate this game in MAME. It's going to save you a ton of money, and it is going to be quite enjoyable. So now that we have the final boss here, we'll let you guys watch a little bit of that. What we're going to be doing in the next 10 weeks is showcasing a lot of content from the CPS2, different genres, shooters, fighters, beat-em-ups, all the things that the CPS2 was well known for. I'm really excited to show you guys more CPS2 content because this arcade platform was one of the heavy hitters for arcade games. There are so many great games on the CPS2 platform, things that get written about all the time, talked about all the time. I'm trying to show them to you in a little bit of a different way, but they're really fundamentally important games to gaming history. It's kind of up there with the Neo Geo AES as far as longevity in arcade platforms are concerned, but there you have it, we've beaten the boss. Thanks so much for watching. Do us a huge favor, hit like and subscribe. You can follow us on Instagram at Chicago Game Collector. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next Tuesday for another episode. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.